Welcome to this presentation for the SEEDS conference on the theme Adapting and Changing Behavior and Practice. Minimization of environmental disaster risks within the upstream petroleum sector of Ghana, the topic of our study, conducted by Gerald, Acheampong, Dr. Colin Booth, and Dr. Abdul Muhammadu, all of the Faculty of Environment and Technology, University of West of England. It's interesting to note our study aligns very closely with the theme of this conference, having the objectives of modifying public sector approach to environmental disaster risk management within the petroleum sector of Ghana. It has been suggested that public sector approach to tackling environmental incidents within the petroleum sector of developing nations, for example Ghana, has been skewed towards oil spill response, etc., when compared to addressing the underlying causes of such incidents. Findings from the literature suggest that public sector organizations are critically challenged when it comes to regulatory and supervisory capacity for addressing the root causes of incidents such as those that trigger well blowouts, oil rig collapse, etc. While it may be considered the direct responsibility of petroleum companies to mitigate underlying factors of well blowouts, pipeline rupture, etc., there is that crucial need for building in-house capacity within the public sector organizations towards oversight governance of these risks. The goal of the study was to identify and prioritize underlying risk factors and the key capability improvement mechanisms which are critical for minimizing any potential environmental disaster within the upstream petroleum sector of Ghana. The methodological approach is a four-stage process which includes a systematic review of petroleum disaster literature, followed by the validation of the literature findings by experts in industry. Then there was a gauging of opinions of professionals within industry, followed by analysis of findings using mainly the weighted average scoring index. The weighted average scoring index formula, which has been employed effectively by Sherman Tam, Walana and Booth, etc., was deployed as the pivotal tool of data analysis for this reason. Based on the various stages of data collection and analysis, the findings for underlying risk factors of disaster incidents within the petroleum sector, which were ranked in order of importance by industry professionals, shows that addressing risk management shortcomings, ensuring emergency preparedness planning, improving socio-environmental accountability were considered the key risk areas requiring critical attention from public sector organizations in order to minimize environmental risks within the petroleum sector of Ghana. Invariably, minimization of operational risks, minimization of equipment failures, preemption of sabotage, terrorism, and vandalism within the industry were considered important but relatively less critical. Based on the scoring of industry professionals, the capability mechanisms which need improvement within public sector organizations in order to attain environmental disaster risk minimization within the petroleum sector of Ghana include risk management, early detection and warning, legal and regulatory mechanisms, which were scored highest. Invariably, preemptive, early and rapid action, stakeholder management, and public involvement were considered less critical within the range of mechanisms available for improvement within public sector organizations. It can be suggested from evaluating the expert participant ranking that the areas of focus considered more critical for addressing underlying conditions towards achieving environmental disaster risk minimization are the core governance, technical, and managerial functions, rather than the incident management and simulation activities which have traditionally been the areas of focus for public sector institutions in Ghana. These findings underscore the exigency and growing advocacy towards contextualizing disaster risk management constructs and functions within the more pre-incident, that is probabilistic domain, rather than the post-incident remedial action as underpinned by GRR principles. Recommendations. It is recommended that capability improvement within relevant public sector institutions in Ghana be undertaken with pivotal consideration to the prioritized mechanisms identified within the study, both for the risk minimization indices and the capability improvement measures. That a relevant capability and performance improvement and assessment model or framework, such as the capability maturity model, be adopted or developed in this regard towards achieving the goal of environmental disaster risk minimization in the petroleum sector of Ghana. Thank you for your participation and your attention.